think that song is really sweet, and I think that in today's day, in the era of Zoom, they might have an easier time with a long-distance relationship, since all of us are kind of always distanced nowadays, although it is getting better, and let's hope it stays that way. So I'll tell you a little bit about my history with music. It started from a very young age. My dad made playlists for when I was born under 4 different names that my parents had to choose from to name me when I was eventually born. And I remember I grew up listening to these playlists that he made called the Rhapsody playlists. I believe those were named after the music service that we used at the time. But I listened to those playlists all the time, and I memorized the order of the songs. And eventually we got this minivan that had steering wheel controls. I guess those were kind of new in the early 2000s. I'm not really sure. But my dad would tell my friends and I that the van could hear me. So if I wanted it to skip a track, I would have to say track up and make a movement with my hand, and the car would hear me and move the track and skip the track to the next one. And my friends and I would fight over saying track up, track down, track up, track down, and I'm sure my dad was very entertained. And I think my mom had some problems with some of the songs that were a little more explicit on those playlists, so my dad pretended that those songs were broken, and when we tried to play them, the car would always skip over them, and he said they were broken, and I didn't know any better. But I grew up with those playlists, and I still listen to them sometimes. That was kind of the beginning of my love for music, and now I will play that song that my dad pretended was broken in the car. It's called Hey Mama by the Black Eyed Peas, and it is a little explicit, so the good thing about this new podcast format and the way that it's set up here on Anchor is that you can skip it if you want. But here is Hey Mama by the Black Eyed Peas.